I don't know, JR, how do we get into these things?
Oh, it's you.
It's me? Okay,
It's you,
must be. I'm attracted to poop. Yeah, we gotta change that track. We got this one changed over here, just like we did at Brenda's. I'll tell you, that burl track, cannonball track, I should say, is really nice. Like, we got that set so it's almost like a self-closer. That will come out nice. But to get to this one, it's a lot more fun. So we're gonna support this board, this door with the board. Last time we just stuck a couple of blockers underneath there. We're gonna pretty much do the same here, I believe, right?
Yep.
You got a hump there in that concrete. But the bad thing is this got the little man door in it. We don't want to hurt that. It's gonna, maybe we support it right here. It might be a little stronger. But this one goes through the wall and into the granary. I'll have to get another ladder to set up for the inside to get it those. And I got those square bolts. Love those square bolts. But the 11/16 12 point fits right on them, so I can at least get those out. All right, let's brace this door up, and then we'll take the track down. I don't know what he did with the old roller. He was wondering why it wouldn't roll, but it was shot. It was completely gone. I don't know what he did with it. Jim must have walked off with that old roller. Yeah, wonder why it wouldn't roll. I'd say that was shot. All right, JR, that was a pretty good idea. He just put the bar in there, lifted a little bit, slid the boards underneath there, but we also just at the top ran a timber lock so the door don't fall over on us. We can always take one side off, tilt it out to take the bracket and put it in and out. But my only complaint was they used two different bolts. I had my nice 11/16 socket for that one there. That's great, you know, and then you go and they find a smaller head. Every other one used whatever they had, I guess. But these rollers weren't so bad. They did have a flat spot and probably could have used some oil, but interesting way these go together. On this one, different than the other, it's in two halves. And that what slid in between. Yeah, took the two halves apart and slid that above and bolted together. But we didn't get brackets. I don't know what happened. These just didn't come for some reason when we ordered them, but we were able to adapt because the washer's a little big on the bottom, but hey, it works pretty nice. I think that'll work. Slip that on there, drill it out, bolt it on. All right, well, we got all the track in. We're about ready to see if this bad boy rolls.
This thing here, there.
Yeah, somehow or another, we got this up too high. I think you did have your board underneath that hump to keep it up high enough.
Well, I knew. Well, I knew when we set it. When I set it, yeah, it was setting on the 2x2s. But then you were concerned about that, which is fine. And then I put the 3/4 board on top of the 2x2s. Yeah. So that lifted however high it was. Plus, once we actually ranked the.
Because that side's pretty good there. Once we tighten up the bolts. But that was the top board. Should have been all right.
Well, I was going to say that was the only other thing is that it could have even pulled it up just a little bit when we put the
timber locks
in,
pulled the track up
and pulled the track up. But I mean,
anyway,
it is what it is.
We got an idea. JR got a good idea. Just we get some deck boards, 12-footers. This already's here. We just carry it over the rest of the way, and then we can take off the boards that are 1-bys down there, add our 3/4 board or whatever height we need to make this work. Maybe jackhammer that out of there. Because it snowed the other day. He said snow blew underneath. This is the west side, so yeah, we can do that. Anyhow, trials and tribulations of barn doors. This now moves so easy. I told Jim, I'm like, hey, be careful. Well, this barn's so racked. See, it misses. So he starts pulling on that thing, and he didn't hit the stop. He missed it, went on and shoved it out, and he almost fell down. It was great. Well, if you paint it, it's pretty. If you don't paint it, it's not pretty. When you say drop down a lot. So that hump there was what we were thinking we had to have it above, but that actually was a guide to help keep the door shut. It works. I'd lower the roller, and yeah. The only thing you got to do is when you come over to here, you got to make sure you're clear. Wiggle that. That's always been like that. But yeah. Make sure you're inside that concrete and it rolls beautifully. Yay. Okay, I'll take that one. Now we need JR to do his farmer's knot. His farmer's knot.
The thing where you can pull it and flip it out. Until he asked me to do it, it's like, oh yeah, I do it to bales of straw.
Once you did it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Around.
Yeah.
Now you got to think about it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, that's all. Very simple.
That way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
I'm not that smart. But that does work out. Since, you know, he pays us to do all this, but he won't pay for a latch. What are you laughing about over there, PC? All right, can we call this one done? Move on. I guess now he wants gutters on that little garage right there. The one other building he calls the machinery shed, which I got to see how Mike does that. I guess he's going to do that tomorrow, but it's going to be interesting because the machinery shed's bowed in the middle, and the sidewall he wants to put on, it's got the whole wall caving out. To show you that, it's pretty bad. I don't know if you can see, there's junk in the way, but the front of that building where the doors are, that sags in the middle, but that other side over in there, that whole thing goes big time down, and the whole wall's kicked out even. They made a big boo-boo with the trailers, backing it in here, and this was all wet and it's up on this mound of dirt over here, and thing jackknifed real quick on me, and my handles on the back of the door locks smashed right in the trailer and busted a hole in it. That had already been hit once before. I had doors on the back of my other truck and they swung open as went down the road, and I turned and hit that. But now, insult to injury, got a big hole. Well, guess what? Fixed the trade sticker on that bad boy. But let me show you this wall here. I have no clue how Mike's gonna run a gutter here. And why? I don't know. Oh, Jim. It's amazing how much gutters can make a place look better. That looks better. That machinery shed looks a whole lot better, but remember me saying about this one with the big old dip in it? Yeah, there's not much you can do with that. And it's twisted at the moment just to get that downspout in there and have it just kick out at an angle for now. He said later I can run some black pipe along. If we clean this up, we can run some black pipe and get that twisted back down again. But I mean, all things considered, as bad as the angle was on this thing, bowed down and falling down, yeah, leave a comment if you think this was worth it. But at any rate, he had such a hard time, poor guy. There was 5 inches of wood, or well, I should say there's 5 inches of metal sticking out past the tails of the rafters. And so instead of scabbing it all, he actually cut the metal back. You really can't tell too bad. He did a pretty nice job there. But I had to use those straps, but it works. They still get the water away. All right, well, I want to show you something else on the inside that we got accomplished. So let me park and I'll show you. So they had this stuff on the wall before. It's just a stick on, and it didn't stick to the wallpaper very well. Of course, there's like 20 layers of wallpaper here, so no wonders there. But at any rate, this is what we decided to do. About the cheapest. It's cheaper than the white beadboard, but this thing is so out of square and so hard to deal with. We've been trying to make it really nice, figuring out with the level and the square, what's level. I did this ceiling years ago. It actually is all level around here, but you can see the top of the window how bad it is, and we still didn't quite get it right. So we got some little trim that we're gonna have to put around. It's just not It's just not possible. I mean, we took our time and it's still not possible to get this exactly right. We can trim it up. It's not cockable. But anyway, it looks like we're going to have to do a lot more work than I thought here, because besides that, I mean, we've got these walls here. We've got, you know, paint that's chipping off. Then I just found out as I come in today that he bought a vanity. There's a sink out there and some floor tile. So looks like we're going to be doing a bit more. There's a faucet for the sink. I don't know what to do with this. I mean, when's the last time you saw an oven like that? I guess it still works. But at any rate, I had a fluorescent light across here, and I had one of those round vents with the big chrome covers on it that won't clean up. So he's like, put a new one on there. How? It's not even centered to the stove. There's the center of the stove, right? Would be right about here. It's over here. I love these old houses. You get into this stuff. I guess we're changing all the outlets. It's a forever home. I'll be here forever. Anyway, still waiting on PC. Getting a little slower in his old age. Where are you? So, we got the floor carpeting and stuff tore up. And this is all like a linoleum, sort of. But they did patterns. This was just a wood floor. But upstairs, it was kind of neat in the bedrooms. So at least they tried to do something neat with the pattern of linoleum. Kind of cool. Not pretty, but each room's a little bit different. A pattern on that one. You know, it's all cracked up and nasty and everything, but at least it was something. And kind of did something similar here. Not quite as pretty, but at any rate, thought that was kind of neat. Not sure what they had to get into there. Some electrical or something. Which, yeah, they just put outlets right into the wood. Wood screwed them right in there. Well, these old houses. Amazing. No wonder they burn down sometimes. We're supposed to put vinyl plank flooring, and my only real concern is right here, because this is really rough. This high. It's going to break it. So we got to do something with that part of the floor. And these are all slightly different levels, so I'm a little concerned about the vinyl plank flooring. We'll see. Oh yeah, we moved that cabinet and found wallpaper bad here and here. So I got to figure out what to do with these walls, as well as that one down there, where the ensuite is. Gift that keeps giving. Well, that was scary. I showed you that board was broke. That was really the only thing holding that up. There was absolutely nothing except for one nail here that was keeping these steps tight up against the wall, because that was broken clean off. And that was holding us every time we walked up and down. But now we got a 4x4 anchored and down, holding that. We screwed the steps to this piece of oak, put new screws in that spindle, and we anchored it up here. This is sitting, that's why it broke, because half of this is sitting on a cement block. Cement block comes out. But there was like a nail here and here, but it was cracked all the way across, so it wasn't doing anything. But at any rate, she's good and solid now. Squeaks a little bit, but it's good and solid. Good to go. And this got so many layers of wallpaper and other stuff. Not so bad on that wall. I tried to patch it. It seems to be okay. So I went ahead and tried in this room, and it seems to be working. I'm going to try it out on this room here and go from there, because there's so many layers of wallpaper. I dug a bunch out over there. But over here, we were able to take that old rotted board off the bottom of the window and cut down just an actual 2x. I think it was 2x8. Cut it down to size. But once we took off the lath and all that stuff, it's going to be the right thickness and work out just fine. So that's great. Got this room finished, trimmed out. He brought us some ceiling tile, so we're going to put new ceiling tile wherever it needs it. But yeah, I think that turned out pretty good. It's a good fix if your walls are out of whack and you can't quite get your cuts right. Just put some flat stock, or in this case this stuff was $1 less a foot, so we just did that and had enough left over to do the closet. You know, we're not too worried about, I know the cuts aren't perfect, but this thing was way out of whack. I mean, it's a miracle we got it at all. Had some quarter round left laying around. We just used it for the mouse hole that was there, and it was something going in and out of there. That's why he had those mothballs there. But no holes now. There's one there too. Got that door fitting a little better. Took the ramp out, getting ready to lay our plank flooring in this room. But tell us in the comments, what do you think? I like the wood look. He wants us to paint it white, but I guess we have to. Well, a good cold morning to you. It is definitely cold out, and we have an issue. We have an issue this morning. There's no fuel in the oil tank. Come in here, it's cold, turn the thermostat up, and oh no, I don't think there's any fuel in the tank. Well, hit the tank on the side. It's empty. So we had to change out the gauge. So figured, hey, why not? Let's do it now. So these are what the modern gauges look like. Just a float on them. As it goes up, it moves the indicator. But there was nothing wrong with the one that was in there. It's pretty cool. So it has a string and a weight, and the indicator shows how many gallons. Oh, that's pretty cool. He couldn't see it and read it, so he didn't know it was still working. But I mean, I can see if the string broke, that'd be a problem. But it still works. You can see it was hardly any fuel left. So no wonder it's cold this morning. Oh, anyway, we'll get this in. Tell Jim how to get some fuel. Well, that was easy, and yep, we're empty. We need fuel. Duh, we knew that. Anyway, the only trick to this is that little arrow has to be pointing toward the larger side of the tank, because the rod has to come down and aim off that direction. So pretty simple. All right, let's get him to get us some heat. Well, the homeowners made a ruling. They wanted it white. Pretty much everything almost white or beige, but Mackenzie's doing a good job. She got this room painted, and I started on some trim. This is more like a trim color. I guess we're on that duck white. But coming along. This paint, I painted this years ago. I want to mention that. And this paint was shiny below it, so she's stuck scraping it. But got the door jamb at least done. Oh, we got a toilet. So I guess we got a few more things to do. Just be glad I didn't film this. You wouldn't want to see it. Horrible. Both shut-offs, frozen, couldn't get them off. Had to shut the water off, cut them off. Toilet one, got it to start turning, but it started leaking. Went to pull the toilet, and the one bolt was just spinning and spinning on the right side, but the other one came out. And I looked, and there was like a little hairline crack in the toilet. So I'm like, well, it's no good anyway, let me just crack it. So I just took a little hammer on the side, and black everywhere. It's been broke for a while. I don't know if you can see, yeah, you can see there's like a little light piece of chunk of the toilet been down in there. That wasn't for me. Inside the toilet itself, there's like an empty cavity space, and and it was just completely full of, you know what, not pretty. No matter how I was going to get this thing out of here, it wasn't going to be nice. Yeah. Yeah. It was all full of poop and pee and water and all up down inside there. Lovely. Very good thing we changed this. But now I got to fish that piece out. Yeah, that was no fun getting that thing out of there. Made a mess. But it needed done. I don't use this tool very often, but when you need it, you need it. It wasn't real easy. And the thing doesn't even work all that great anymore. But I got it. That was laying flat like that, and I couldn't quite get it this way. So I had to get a bar down in there, slide it and turn it until it stood up. After about 25, no, about 6, I got it. So, yay! And got a new toilet. See if this one flushes. That other one didn't flush with 2 cents. But Kohler, come on now. Really? The way they packaged it, it sat in the box too long that way. But that doesn't even sit right. That's pretty lame, Kohler, and I can't straighten it because they don't have adjustments on theirs. It just have 2 holes. So nothing you can do about it. I don't like it. I don't know. Anyway, I gotta get a discussion for that. Yes, it's red. It's the only pipe I have. But anyway, that looks kind of nice. Better than the other one. The other one wasn't centered either, neither is this one. But I'm trying to figure out the mirror they gave me. It's a medicine cabinet, and I wanted to put like an outlet box in it. The one I bought that they don't like would have worked better. We'll see. So I'm kind of thinking something like that. Put a box on the inside like that, cut a hole, and have the outlet come through the cabinet on the outside. Only problem then is just having a wire run, so I'm going to have to kind of keep it toward the top, but be better than what it had up by the light. We'll see how that works out. So check this out. Tub's put in probably in the 70s, we think, but look at the pattern here of how old this is. Culprit, bath mat. Leave a bath mat in here for 50 years and this is what happens. That finish is completely gone. Got some pretty good pits in it too, but yeah, we have a company locally, Fibertech, that can refinish tubs even right inside the house. So got them coming out and they're gonna resurface this guy. And it's a little bit of a project, so hopefully he'll let us film it and get an idea of what's all involved in resurfacing a tub. Yeah. The more I look, the more I keep finding. Quit looking. Let's see how that tub looks now that they got that all done. Oh yeah, that looks beautiful. Much, much better. They did a pretty good job. So the acid washed it and put down like a coating to help keep it from rusting through. If you remember how rusty it was before and pitted, there's no pits now. Just that one little spot right there. And a little piece of dirt, which could have been the guys from banging around trying to put the vinyl flooring in. And not sure what happened on the camera, but at any rate, we'll see. So yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that I had to take this out. Gives me an excuse to change the vanity and put a new mirror and stuff in here. The guys got some flooring done. Got this room, and this room's started. This room completed. So we've got Mackenzie, and then we got the homeowner at that little mini house we're working on, tiny house. She paints too, so she's coming to help paint. So now we got to figure out who's doing what, because we wanted to lay some floor down here, but they'll probably want to paint in there, so we'll figure it out. Is it just me, or does that just seem way out of way over the top for a house like this? Just doesn't fit the rest of it. Makes way too big of an impression for all the more you get here. But it's nice. Got the soap dispenser. And anyhow, I threw a short up on this. These are cool. And that thing used to slide out, come out here, and you'd be a drying rack. It's all rusted up, doesn't move anymore. But yeah, you can put your towels out here, slide them back in there. Kind of cool. I mean, good, well-built old cabinets. Hey, you get a dishwasher. Hey, don't complain, right? And a Lazy Susan. I mean, high tech. But I don't know what to do with this hood vent. Got a hood vent. That was a struggle. Trying to even find one at the Blue Store. But at any rate, gotta figure out how to vent this thing. It'd be nice when it's done, but at least that size duct is the same that comes off the back of that. I was hoping that I could just run it straight out the back, and I still might, because I do have the square vent outside. Unfortunately, we already did the siding. I'll have to pull the siding off, move the hole, but I think that might actually just go right on the back of that and be okay. We'll see. So figuring out that hood was a little bit of a challenge. Over here we had where the hood vent went out, and then it went down through here. So the only thing I can do with the electric, there's a layer of ply through here, down the center, and over here. So I was able to hollow this out, because this is just like a veneer on here. So I was able to hollow that out and at least run the wire down like that. And the hole size is pretty much the same on the back of this to go straight out the back. So I was able to reuse that same old-fashioned flapper vent that was there and just relocate it through the wall back here. So that worked out okay. Didn't need any extra ductwork. So we got that now up and running. But I got to get some ply. I'm basically just going to glue some ply for over this section here, and then over top of here, just kind of clamp it down. That'll cover that all up. I'll have to cut a piece for under here too. And well, they had some trim in here. I can maybe do something like that with a little piece of quarter round. Anyway, it should look pretty good. That's all I can do. Looks a lot more modern and nice. But I was like, what am I going to do with this? Because they had a fluorescent light going across there. So I told the homeowner, I said, try to find me like a big hook that you can like hook a ladle or hang some stuff from, something we can put over to cover up that hole. So that way if some utensils can hang there, it'll look like it has a purpose. Always ways around all this confusing mess you have to work with. Well, good morning. We're at the point in this project that we hit in every project that you're doing the final details, and it just seems like it takes forever. I've noticed that in projects you end up with this roller coaster. Basically, you get to this point in the project where everybody just loses heart. So we always start off really good. You're all gung-ho, hey, new project, yay, all excited, and that's great. You get into demo and you tear everything out, and then as it goes along, you're like, well, we're making good progress, and then customers add on more work, and then you get to the details part, and it's like all of a sudden everybody's like, come on, this is taking forever, and you get all downhearted and it seems to slow down. But then all of a sudden it finally gets done, so it works out. But at any rate, don't seem like we've gotten a lot accomplished, but we've got a lot of little things we've been doing. Just little details like this wallpaper come up a little short for this cabinet, so we put a piece of trim in here. You know, it takes time to cut all that out and around. Now I've got to paint it. Still, I think I'm just going to throw a little caulking to paint this. It didn't cover that little part that held the mirror on. This did. But yeah, we got a board for here that we're going to put up and drill a hole for, but we're going to route out a little design around the outside edges so that it looks a little more normal-like. You know, just stupid stuff. They had that register vent going down inside the wall. Why, I don't know. So I got a new piece of 1x for there. Got it painted up. You know, just dumb little things. Yeah, I gotta put a coat on. Painting this, you know, it takes time to clean that up and paint your quarter round. We still didn't have enough. I had to go out and buy a bunch. Of course, this is 3/4. You can't find any white primed 3/4 at the stores, so they don't carry it at Home Depot or Lowe's. And the stuff they do have, I don't even like it. It's supposed to be finger jointed. I've used this before on a project, And you can see how thick they've built the primer up. It's probably cheaper for them to candy coat this than to actually have the wood be the right thickness. And then they can go over all the flaws and stuff just by putting this candy coat on. Well, if you go to try to cut this, it smells. It's probably bad for you. I don't know, but I don't like it. And then thing of it is if it chips while you're cutting it or working with it, then you've got to build it all up with a whole bunch of caulk to smooth it out, because, or that what JR and PC calls purple nurple. But I think it's purple and turns white, I forget what it's called, but anyway, you put that on there and you can sand it. But pain in the neck. And of course this is 11/32, so it's probably not going to cover, like we have the trim in here, but wherever we don't have trim, if our gap is a little bit wide, like that's not going to be too bad. In some areas they're expecting 3/4 trim, so you make your gaps accordingly. Like I think this row, you know, it's going to be pretty close on some of our gaps, that for sure. We do what we got to do, that's all. But the girls even have been kind of petering out on painting. They can only come a certain time. They got other responsibilities, so it kind of like screws everything up. You know, just things that take time. Got to cut this door down because it's too tall now. I mean, you know, scrapes on the floor. Amanda did get this room painted, except for the trim, it looks like. So that's helpful. Nobody's even touched that room, and she got this room painted. So, except for it looks like the trim. It's something. Yeah. Anyway, I still got the vanity. I mean, the medicine cabinet was broken. The light fixture was broken. You know, they brought the stuff to me. I didn't buy it, and gotta look at everything. You know, everything you buy. It might seem like it's okay and the package is okay, but you gotta look at everything and make sure it's not broken. So now I'm waiting for them to return that so that I can get this done. It's those kind of things that slow you down. So that's why the devil's in the details, and that's where we're at. We're fighting the devil. Well, we'll get it. All right, well, this will show you we're not staging the place, because I'm not staying to clean it right now. They're gonna clean it. But anyway, we're gonna get the porch all painted. What else? Of course, we got that door to the basement all fixed up. Eric will film some of that. The staining come out really good. It matched. Everything is functioning, put together. Pretty happy with it all. Look much better if it was clean, but everything's all painted. Can't do anything with the paneling. I'm just going to accept it. But we got a little bit of cleaning done. It's a lot of painting. A lot of painting. But, you know, come out pretty good for a farmhouse. A number of people have been out here and said they really like it out here. The horses out in the field and being out away from everything and being in the woods and stuff. I guess it has some farmhouse appeal. If you're willing to put up with Jim. Him and I have been messing with each other since the 80s, so that's the only thing. That door, couldn't get the warp out of that thing. Almost, I don't know. We didn't spend a lot of time with it either, but we just tried to lay it down, put some weight on it. But I'm not sure what all you'd have to do to get that fixed. That's pretty bad. Other than that, you know, for what we're working with, without doing a complete demo. But Chris did pretty good in painting. Kind of group effort, actually. But it's about all we can do with it. So if you're looking for a rental and you're in the Newcastle area and you like this, see Jim. But I'll tell you what, just putting some paint going down the basement Sure makes it look better. Those steps feel so much better after PC fixed them. This was hard because you can see it's still wet on the ground here. Water still kept wanting to come in the corners. We kept having fans and running and fans, and finally found out a sprayer was the only way, because we were trying to take the drywall and paint it on, and any bitty sandy bits in mortar or anything like that, and it would just come back out. But like all that was just sprayed with a sprayer, and it worked so much better. I can't see you'd ever be able to brush that and have it stick. But the real amazing part, I think, is that this room actually, for what it is, with all these pipes and all that stuff, it just feels a lot better. It feels like you can actually come down here and use a washer and a dryer and use the bathroom if you needed to. So that's good. But that's not the hot water tank. I checked it out. That's water leak in the foundation over there. Although, no, I take that back. There was one little drip. But that's not leaking all that water. That's just a minor drip. But anyway, I think once they get it cleaned up and put back together, it'll look a whole lot better. But for me, I'm out of here. So, good. I'm really glad, because I've been here too long. I got other things to do. So I'm going to move on to the next job. And until the next time, see ya. By the way, these barrels have been a mystery. We didn't know what the writing was or what their purpose was. And anyhow, these were in the basement. Some said bottled water. We don't know what these were doing down there. And the funny thing is we talked to the previous people that rented this place, and they said they didn't leave them here. And even the girl that just left, she's like, I don't know, those aren't mine. I don't know where they come from. So where'd they come from? All of a sudden they just showed up in the basement? Anyhow, we don't know. I think that that previous tenant actually left them here and just didn't want to deal with them. But the Chinese writing, JR actually got in their Google Translate and figured out what that was. And it is actually high purity chromated metal. And it could be granules or powder. They probably had a bag lined in it and had that in there and shipped it from China. But I was like, what is that? I don't even know. Well, looked it up, and here it's a alloy that they put in metals for things like helicopter motors and rotors and jet engine, like in the turbines and stuff like that. So it adds to the strength of the metal. So that's what was in the barrels. Apparently we get that from China. But at any rate, I guess it's not toxic or anything, so we can use them at least for garbage cans or something like that. But anyway, mystery solved.